So pretty much all throughout my training life, my training experiences, I've pretty much always been either maintaining or cutting. I would say that I've more experience cutting than bulking or maintaining. And with that, I've certainly had my fair share of mistakes. The first mistake that I want to tell you about is not tracking. In this aspect, it can be anything really, but the first thing is not tracking the amount of calories you're eating. Of course, you can't get a precise measurement of how many calories you're eating. You can't say, this steak is 652 calories. I know that for sure. I have absolutely no idea. I can get like a ballpark, maybe 600 to 800 calories. I can get a ballpark, but I cannot get very specific, very precise. And the thing is, just getting that ballpark is good enough. It's much better than not knowing anything at all whatsoever. Because at least if you have ranges, if you have an estimates, you can titrate it up and down, right? You can adjust. But if you don't know anything about the caloric intake that you're eating, you can't really do anything about it. And so when I started off, I just tried my best to eat less, and well, guess what? It didn't work, so I quit with like minimal progress. That was my first cut. And then after a while, I started to meticulously track what I ate. So I used a food scale and everything. I went like pretty extreme down this route. So much so that my parents, not even that extreme, I think. Like my parents, I think it was just such a novel concept to them. It was like, that's kind of weird. And so I believe that tracking, at least when you're starting off, is essential. Because you need to get a baseline. You need to at least get a baseline of how many calories you're consuming on a day-to-day basis, and see if you're gaining weight, maintaining, or cutting on that amount of calories. It also allows you to get a sense of the caloric range of certain foods that you eat on a regular basis. And as you gain more and more experience, you can eventually taper off and not track. Currently, I do not track, but I already have experiences that lend me the ability to sort of estimate how many calories are in certain foods that I eat, certain meals that I eat. Other things you can track is your weight every single day. For me personally, I like tracking my weight every single day. I like having the data, so I do that. For physique-wise, you can track your measurements for your arms, your chest, your waist, your neck, etc. You can have progress pictures as well. There's a lot of things to track. Truly, I wish that I had tracked some of these when I first started, because it would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of headache, certainly. Mistake number 2 is just eating the wrong foods. If you're going on a cut and you're still eating like burgers and fries and stuff, what are you doing? Like, do I need to say more? I really don't think I need to say more. Like, if you're wondering why you're not losing weight and, you're on your 3rd double cheeseburger of the day, oh, I wonder why you're not losing weight, It beats me. I have no idea. The thing is with this, you want to eat lower calorically dense foods that have more volume as compared to calories in them, aka a lower caloric density. But the thing is, you don't want to just search for any low caloric dense food and only eat those, aka don't only eat lettuce. You still need to get all of your macros and nutrients that you need to, survive, right? Otherwise you will die. Before that, you will fail. And so mistake number 3 is starting the cutoff too aggressively. Say, for example, starting with a 1,500 calorie deficit. Unless you're like morbidly obese, sure, do that. If you're not, if you're a regular person who's consuming like around 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day, that's way too aggressive. Way too aggressive. And the thing is, what's going to happen is if you do that, the first couple weeks is going to be fine, you're going to be losing weight a lot. And then you're going to plateau. It's going to stop all of a sudden. And then you're going to wonder what to do. You're already eating so little. You're so hungry every single day. How can I still lose weight? Well, the only way is to lower your calories even more. But at that point, you're so hungry that there's absolutely no way you could do that. And so you need to quit. You need to stop the cut. And to avoid this, you want to start off with a small deficit. You don't want to start off extreme. You want to start off small, and then you'll gradually keep on cutting. Keep on losing weight. It'll be slower progress for sure, but it'll be more sustainable, and you'll be more likely to keep the fat off. And I will go into more depth about why your body plateaus in terms of losing weight because of the extreme caloric deficit. Mistake number 4 is not eating enough fat. Probably my most successful cut was last summer. And I would argue the only reason it was very successful was because I was reliant on caffeine unwillingly. Like, I really did not think about it too much until I just thought about it one day. I was like, wait, I was taking in quite a bit of caffeine. At the time, I did not think I was consuming caffeine at all. So it was kind of a little shocking a bit, but I believe I was pretty much reliant on caffeine. The thing is, I remember being so miserable. For me, going to the gym is, I don't even need to tell myself. It's just automatic. I will go just every single day, just go. It's a part of me. It's part of my day. If I don't go, something feels off. And so the thing is, to compare that with my last summer's cut, where I needed to hype myself up like for probably like a couple days to a week, like every single one of those days, like I just needed to like hype myself up to go. I needed to like tell myself mentally, you need to go because you'll feel better. You know, you feel like absolute shit right now, but you know, when you come back, you'll feel so much better. That was how I was convincing myself to go to the gym every single day. On the other hand, I was sleeping pretty badly. My sleep was not the best, like really, at all. And I tried using a sleep supplement, but it really didn't seem to alleviate it either. It didn't really seem to help. And it was until like one time where I ate out with a friend that I suddenly just felt more energetic for the rest of the day. I was like, what was different about that meal as compared to my other meals? It was the fat content. It was how much fat I was consuming. I was consuming way too little fats in my meals to have proper hormone production, to like feel good, to feel like alive. I was feeling like I was 80 when I was not even 20. That's like how bad it was. The thing is, fat is good. Fat makes hormones, and hormones are extremely important to your health. A low-fat diet is, I would say, pretty popular given the rise of calories in, calories out now again, at least on YouTube. And I mean, it makes sense to think about it like, oh, fat is 9 calories per gram. Why would I consume that when I can consume double in terms of protein and carbs? Why can't I just do that? Well, there's a reason why bodybuilders in the long-term fat loss phase, they cut carbs. They don't cut fats. They cut carbs because fats are extremely important for hormone production. And for long-term cuts, hormone production is extremely important to maintain muscle and to lose fat. As I hope I've demonstrated, you will feel like absolute shit and all the other classic symptoms of low testosterone. And so the last mistake is not noting the decreases in caloric expenditure. So the first is, you're going to have less body weight when you're cutting because, well, you're losing body weight, right? So you're physically getting smaller. And therefore, with every single activity, every macro movement, every time you walk, every time you fidget, every time you just move, every time you breathe, you're burning less calories than you were originally. Second is, you're eating less food. And the thing is, whenever you eat food, your body requires energy in the form of calories to digest that food. And with less food eaten as compared to before your cut, your body is using less energy to digest that food. Therefore, it's a net smaller amount of calories used to digest food. And finally, there's less NEAT. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which basically covers all like the movements that don't really count as exercise, like just fidgeting around, like me doing this, or like, you know, just fidgeting. That will decrease. Your body will subconsciously decrease these so that you can conserve your energy, whether you like it or not. It will decrease. And so these are just a couple of things that you should keep in mind when you're cutting. Overall, these 5 mistakes are things that I wish that I knew more about and hope that they will help you with your cutting goals.